Hello everybody, this is Shane Lambert and I'm just doing a video on the basic rules of high-low limit poker, pot limit Omaha HiLo. I'm not a pro or anything at this. As you can see, I'm just playing 1 cent stakes, but I do know the rules, and if you don't know the rules, they can be confusing, even if you've played a lot of no-limit hold'em. That doesn't qualify you, doesn't mean you know this game. So I'll just kind of narrate what's going on here, and I'll be dealt in a few minutes. I'm sitting out. This is a cash game, so I'm sitting out until I'm the big blind. So you can see every player gets 4 cards. Now the big difference between no limit Omaha the big difference between Hold'em and Omaha is you must play exactly 3 cards on the board after the river. Now in Texas Hold'em, your whole cards, that's the cards that you're holding, your whole cards, they can get eaten up by the board. So you play your best 5 card hand out of your 7 cards. If that means all 5 cards are on the board is here, then those 5 cards would be your hand. In Omaha, you make the best hand using precisely 3 cards and precisely 2 of your 4 whole cards. So that's the big difference. And another big difference is the guy's got 4 cards. Guys have the nuts a lot more often in Omaha than they do in no limit Texas Hold'em. So right now, if you were playing no limit Texas Hold'em and you had King 9, you would have an outstanding hand. You'd have a pretty good hand in Omaha, but you would really have to worry about somebody having pocket 7s, pocket 4s, even pocket kings or pocket 9s, and then maybe their other 2 cards are suited ace of diamonds, and they got a nut flush draw to go with a set that's already beating you. So yeah, that's one thing to worry about. Okay, so these guys are playing, and they're not necessarily playing well. This is penny stakes, but we'll see. See, that guy did have a set, and he did have a high flush draw. Now the variant that I'm playing is actually high-low, so there's a low hand too. So I'll just explain what's going on. I don't have a good starting hand. You see the pocket jacks, I got a king high flush. I don't have a bad one, but I don't have a draw to the low hand. The low hand is 5 cards, 8 and lower. So I'm just going to play this. I do have a draw. I have a gut shot. One of my king jacks. If I hit a queen, I'll actually have a nut straight, and there's no reasonable flush draw to beat that at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and call if it doesn't get too expensive here. And I miss. Okay, now there's not a bad chance that somebody's actually got a full house already. So my only out right now might be to hit a jack and hit jacks full of 7s. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody has 8 7s, pocket 10s. Now what I'm thinking when I'm calling here is just that I'm going to spike a jack for 2 cents at a 22-cent pot. I don't think the math is directly worth it. But I did think that maybe I could have gotten paid off in the end. But I missed. Somebody's probably going to have a club flush or a full house. And let's see. Okay, no flush that time. That guy's ace 1. Now that's actually a little rare. You'll learn that if you play long term. I don't have a terrible hand here. I got 2 flush draws, 2 straight draws, and I'm out of position, but I do want to narrate a lot of hands, so I'm going to play a lot. And, okay, I hit my flush draw, but it's only 7 high. What I actually want is my straight draw to hit without a flush coming in, because then I'll have the nuts. I'm not going to bet it because there's lots of people after me. Wouldn't mind if this guy bet, though. I didn't want to get re-raised. If you bet into something early in Omaha, especially when there's pot limits, that just invites a large re-raise. Okay, my hand just died. That paired board kills, even if I make my flush or my straight, I have to worry about a full house, and I don't want to. All of a sudden, Cecilia Wolf here is betting out, and I don't know why. My inclination is she hit something. But at this point, just to read the board, remember, you have to use 2 hole cards, so I'm going to fold. Okay. Everybody has 3 4s in their hand right now. If you have a jack in your hand, it wouldn't matter. Let's see if he shows 4. Oh, he didn't show. Okay, this is a terrible hand. A 7 high flush draw is good for nothing. Yeah, I could make Broadway, but should I call in position? It is only 2 cents. I don't have to play too seriously. Now, in terms of the low hand, cards between ace and 8. If you get 5 of them in your hand, you have a low hand. And the lowest wins half the pot, and the highest wins half the pot. Okay, I just flopped a full house. Good thing I called. Always call, right? Should I raise them and give it away? Now, not only did I flop a full house, but there's not going to be any split pot. Okay, I'm going to raise just a bit. There's a lot of split plots in high-low. There can't be a low hand because it's impossible, even if the next 2 cards. Okay, somebody could have a royal flush or a straight flush. It's weird that 4 players called or are involved in the hand, because I'm looking at one of the jacks, so nobody else has a jack. Or pardon me, only one other person could have a jack. Somebody could have pocket kings here. You really gotta be scared of the nuts. That doesn't mean I'm gonna fold. I have no idea what's going on. That's the one thing about bad players. And whatever. And he did have a straight flush. So you can see how a full house, you do have to be worried still. If you were playing Hold'em, you would not have been worried about a straight flush there. But I just had jacks full and lost. That would hardly ever happen in No Limit Texas Hold'em. But you can see the guy hit a straight flush. You can read the text there. That's common enough. Not so much a straight flush, but it's common to have an outstanding hand and lose. So I probably should have folded there. But I would have in a tournament, or if I cared about the money I was losing. Okay, now that guy probably has pocket 9s, pocket 10s. Okay, so there's a low hand possibility. If somebody had ace 3, he has ace 3. He's got the lowest hand possible. That guaranteed him half the pot. So I'm going to fold this. I'm just going to explain the end of that hand. Okay. This guy's best two cards are Jack 7, I think. So he's got 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack. There's no flush possibility. He's got the second nuts. The nuts would have been Jack Queen, but he's got the second nuts, and that was good enough. There wasn't a Jack Queen out there. So he won with a straight. There's no full house possibility or flush possibility. This guy had the lowest hand possible. He had ace 3. So his low hand would be ace 2, 3, 4, 8. So the low hand, like I said, is 5 cards between, 5 cards between 8 and ace. I kind of want the queen high flop, please. No flush or straight. I can make a full house. So queen high, or a bunch of clubs. Queen of clubs. Okay, that's a terrible flop. The reason it's a terrible flop, somebody's probably got a 6. Look, I'm against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 other players. I can still hit a queen to make a pretty good hand, but I could be drawing to a split. Even if I make queens full, if the last card comes as a card between ace and 8, I'm going to call. There's low hand possibilities now. Even if I hit a queen, I'm drawing to a split because it's in high-low. Half the pot goes to the low hand, half the pot goes to the high hand. So even if I make the high hand queens full of 6s, I'm assuming that would win. It would lose to pocket 6s, and they could be out there, or I could lose to a straight flush here. But no point fishing for a queen when I'm only drawing to half the pot. I'm paying 20 cents to get half back. Now let's see here. Okay, that was a split pot, and unless I want to play this hand, which I don't. So well, where'd it go? So I'll just explain what happened here. He's got 5s full of 6s. So, because he has to play exactly 2 whole cards towards the high hand. So that would be his pocket 5s that hit this river. So he has to play exactly 3 cards on the board. So that's 5, 5, 5, 6, 6. He's got 5s full of 6s. He was playing bad because he was betting big. He should actually have been worried about someone having 6-3 or 6-2 or 6-5, because that would have been a better full house. But as it was, this guy was playing the low hand, and his low hand would have been ace, 3, and then 2, 5, 6. So the low nuts in that case would have been ace 4. So if you have the wheel, you know what the wheel is. It's the straight between ace and 5. You got a good high hand, and you got the low nuts. The low nuts is ace 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course on the high hand it also forms a straight. So there's the multi-dimensional. This video has been about 14 minutes. I actually wanted to keep it under 10, but I'm going to play a few more hands and show you how to lose some money. I'm not great at poker. I actually, if I was to break it down, I've probably won $10,000 in my life. And the first time I ever, that's adding up profits. I'm going to play this hand. That's adding up profits, and that's pretty much just profits, not just winnings or anything like that. That includes the losses. But, you know, I'm sure that's about $1 an hour or something terrible. I don't know. Okay, I can hit a queen to make the nuts, but I don't want a queen of hearts, and I don't have a great low draw. I need runner to the low hand. I'll play if it's cheap enough, but I'm not too interested. Okay, so I just hit my straight, but now I have to be deathly worried that somebody has a flush, because it is Omaha. I'm going to bet it. If somebody comes over top, I'm folding. Oops, I didn't know it was my turn to bet. You guys are distracting me. Okay, now the board paired. So I have to not only worry about somebody beating my straight, I have to worry about somebody having a full house. He can have it, that's all his. And he had a flush. He had a low flush. He probably would have folded it maybe to a pot-sized bet. And that guy threw food at me. I don't know why. Who did that? Was it this guy? Eat some of that. I hope I just didn't throw food at the wrong guy. Okay, I got a nut flush draw, and I got ace-3, which is a really powerful low hand. Good chance I could get the nuts. I could use a 2 on the board. I also have ace-4, so if a 3 comes on the board, I can use that in my low hand. I kind of want to go to try and get some of my money back. What am I, down a buck? Oh no. That's a buck American. I'm Canadian. And that flop sucked. I need runners to make a low hand. Somebody's got a 7, I know it. Somebody's got a queen, I know it. Do not play unless you have it. Especially against 4 players. Or 3 other players. Okay, look at that. They both had a 7. One guy had pocket queens, so look at, he made quads. You see that all the time in Omaha. Maybe you didn't believe me. I'm kind of glad that somebody made a straight flush against me. I'm kind of glad that somebody made quads on a hand that I identified as one I wanted to play. I'm betting my ace-2 and my nut flush. Okay, I got the nut flush draw and I got the low nuts. I'm going to check. I want him to bluff at that. Maybe he's got ace-2 as well. But if he's got ace-2, we would split the low pot, and I would get the nut flush draw, and that, a 2 could also come, and I have my ace-5 option. Okay, so what do I have? I have, for a low hand, I got ace-2, 3, 4, 6. That's still the low nuts. On my high hand, I still have my ace-high draw. And I've paired, I have top pair. I paired an 8. And let me see what, I'm going to go all in. And I don't know what I got. It's telling me I won. That's the problem with Omaha. It's hard to figure out what you got. Never play with trips in your hands. There's only 1 card to hit. And remember, you don't make quads because you only get to play 2. Just fold that crap. Okay, so what did I have? I missed my flush, but I think I made a straight, didn't I? 5. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? My hand is straight for 8, and my low is 2, 3. Yeah, I had the low nuts. He had a low hand too. He had ace-3, 4, 6, 7, but my ace 2 is lower than his ace 3. So it's scenarios like that that you got to think of. And you notice I raised up big time once I saw I had ace 2 and a nut flush draw. It's when you're in these big hands, it's pot limit, so guys call a lot. Your best chance to get the pot to be worth something, I find, is pre-flop. Even just the min raise doubles the size. Okay, these low pocket pairs, I got pocket threes. They don't play well in Omaha HiLo. Even in Omaha, if I spike the 3, there'd probably be 2 overcards. I mean, it could be 2, 3, 9 or something like that, but usually there'll be 2 overcards with the 3 on the board. You have to worry about somebody having a higher pair. And not only that, but if you think about it, if you hit a 3, sure, you make a set of 3s, which it can win you hands, but it's also 1 card on the board to the low hand, and that creates a situation where your high hand is only good for 50% of the pot. So if you see what I mean, you could be drawing to a split. You just kind of want to avoid those situations. I don't mind my king high flush draw here, but I got no low hand and 6s. They're too low. There's going to be overcards, or it's going to start the low hand going, and I don't have a low hand draw myself. Okay, so right now there's no low possibility. The absolute nuts would be pocket 9s, second nuts are pocket aces, third nuts are pocket queens. Okay, that's not great. I do have a nut flush draw, but I'm also holding one of my diamonds. However, I do have a draw to Broadway. If a bunch of paint or if a 10 comes up, there's a pretty good chance I can make the high straight. A7 is 2 hands to a low hand, but the 7's pretty high because, let me see here. Well, I got ace king. My ace king plays right now for the high hand. I don't have any kind of low hand draw. I'm not going to bet it. Somebody's going to be all over this flush draw. I do kind of want to see the next card. I won't pay much to do it. Okay, I've picked up my nut flush draw. And I got top pair, top kicker, which counts for very little. Somebody's probably already got a low hand though. So for 2 cents, I'll stay in. That's just a fraction, I guess 1/8. Okay, I got a terrible hand. My ace king plays. So I got aces, 6s, and a king kicker. Now the thing is, I don't know if that guy just bet a low hand or a high hand, but I doubt that my ace and the king kicker will do anything. So he's got a 6, he beats me. He's got a 6, he beats me. Okay, there's no low draw there, but I do have a suited ace, and I got queens for the high hand. The low hand doesn't come into play every time because you need 3 low cards of different ranks on the board for it to be at all possible. I want a queen or I want a bunch of spades. Okay, I'll take that for sure. I got an overpair, which doesn't count for as much in Omaha as it does in Hold'em. But I got the nut flush draw, and I can hit a jack. There's no reasonable low hand yet, so I'm going to make people pay to play. I think the percentages are in my favor. Somebody might have king jack of spades out there, and I can just totally KO them. Terrible card. I need a queen. The board just paired. My straight draw and flush draws. Let's see who picked up a full house. Okay, that could be a cooler card. I don't think anybody has a full house. I should probably bet it. I am something called a chicken shit. But I think somebody might have a flush here. And my flush, of course, is better. Haha, in your face. Another part of this game is value bets. You can't make pot size bets with your best hands all the time. People are aware that their medium ranked hands aren't that good. Usually you'd come over the top with a flush and hold them, right? That guy had 7 high. Okay, I got pocket aces. So the only thing you can do with those is kind of fold them after the flop. Okay, I have top set. There's a low hand draw and a flush draw. But I can make a full house. I also have a backdoor flush draw, which is a 4% thing. I need people to pay to stay in this hand. Okay, I think he probably just made a low hand, which means we're dealing with a split. There, I made my full house, and it's a split pot. So we basically just split the other guys. And look at that, the one time I decided to record how I'm playing, and I'm up 35 cents. I do not like my hand, but I'm half in. Okay, so just sticking with helping you learn how things work here. I paired my 9. Right now my 9 and queen play, these two cards. But I do not have a good hand. For the low hand, this 2 plays with my 8 and 6, but I need runner, runner. 2 low cards to make the low hand. And then I would not have a very low hand either. Could easily lose to ace 4 or something like that. Somebody is likely to have a straight here. Time to check the scores. Ooh, I might have to go watch that. Okay. Pocket 10s is not bad because if you make your set, it's a pretty high set. Furthermore, a 10 doesn't contribute to low possibilities. Okay, I can make a nut flush here, and boy, would it be a surprise one. And I missed. I have a low hand. This guy's probably got ace 3. Or he hit the full house. 25 cents. I can't call either way. My pocket 10s lose to a 7 or a queen, plus a lot of other. My ace 8 for the low hand, it goes ace 2. I lose to ace 3, I lose to ace 4, I lose to ace 6. I lose to a lot. I'm folding. I would even lose to 3, 4. The value of your low hand is determined by your highest card. So if you have ace 2, 3, 4, 8, you're 8 high, you would lose to somebody who has 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Doesn't have anything to do with the averages or the lowest card. It's the highest card that determines how high you are. So, in my experience, people aren't watching at this point, so I doubt you've watched 30 minutes, and I'm talking to nobody now. But you know, I think I'll give you a few more examples of just what plays and what doesn't. I have a really good starting hand for the low hand, because I got 4 cards. I do not have a good start to a high hand, but you know, sometimes those small straights, they crush everything on the board. Okay, I do have the low nuts, I believe. Let me see. No, the low nuts would right now, if I had 2-3, I have the second nuts for the low hand. Somebody who has 2-3 has got me really bad on the low hand, but I have 7-4, so I also have a straight draw. I'm worried about a flush draw. I'm not folding this, but I'm not betting it right now. A diamond kind of kills things. I wouldn't mind a 3 coming up. Okay, let me see. Do I want to keep playing? If he's got 2-3, he's got the low hand, and I don't have a high hand. I do think he has 2-3. Now, if he has 2-3, I can still go for the high hand, but that would be a bad move because then I'm drawing to a split. You don't pay for a pot-sized bet for a split. You just let it go. I got ace-2. I got a suited ace. Got some high cards for the high hand. It's time to play. Ace-2 is the first. I think I confused him with my fold there. I think he wanted me to pay him off. But I don't know. There's lots of that. You just never know. Okay. I think I want to raise it up, but I don't want to lose this guy. Okay, what do I got? Well, I'm not folding, I can say that. There, I think we just paid the dealer. That was a whole bunch of fluff. I don't think I'm supposed to play like that. I think we're both supposed to check down a split pot, but I wanted him to fold. So I got a pretty good situation here. I can try and make a low hand with my 2-3-4-7, or even my 5 with my 2 or 3. I got a flush draw for the high hand, but neither hand would be the nuts unless I hit an ace, then I would make the low nuts. And I missed. So I got a pair of 9s for the high hand. Okay, so I got 2-3-4-5-7. I lose the low hand to ace-2 or ace-3. I think it's probably out there. I do have 2 pair for the high hand. If somebody has a low hand, it would be hard for them to have a higher hand, or a high hand as well, so I took half the pot. Just so there's no confusion, I'm going to fold this because the satanic flop, or 3 6s, done it. See, he wins the high hand because he's got the best high hand there is out of the players that remained. He's got 3 7s. That beats my 2 pair, and it beats this guy's 2 pair jacks and 4s. My low hand plays 2-3-4-5-7. I would lose to an ace-2 or an ace-3. Those would be lower. So the big point to remember with Omaha, all variants of it, exactly 3 cards on the board. Exactly 2 cards in your whole cards must play. In the high-low variant, there's a low hand for half the pot and a high hand for half the pot. However, to qualify for the low hand, you have to have 5 cards that are ranked between ace and 8. In that scenario, the ace would be a low card. And they have to be unique ranks, so you can't have a pair within there. All right, so I hope you learn. Shoot me a message if you have any questions. I know the rules well. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.